Hey everyone, this is the press viewer. I just wanted since I already just finished my recording and have this game open already, I wanted to go ahead and show off a few things. Um, Main scenario is pretty much the story mode. You start out with Reimu and nothing and generics, and you go through essentially just various story matches. As you complete them, you'll get various characters. Sometimes you'll switch to entirely different teams to play as them and go through like some side plot lines. So for the most part, you don't get any options. There is no shop, there is no money, and there is no dreams or random events. Everything is scripted, which is kind of the bad part about story mode, because some of the matches are heavily scripted. Most of them aren't too bad. Most of them just lead to like unlocking certain moves, but there's particular matches where you're very limited on how to actually win the match because it requires very scripted events to happen, which unless you're looking stuff up or just happen to catch something and intuitively figure it out, you can be really stuck in a match. And also due to the fact you don't have any control of what characters you get when, leveling up becomes very difficult, as you'll pretty much be just forced to level up Reimu and hope that she's good enough to bypass the massive amounts of goalies you're going to be dealing with. Unlike in travel mode, you usually go through a lot of the matches. Like majority of the matches, you're going up against a generic goalie. Eventually, you'll start going up against like a Lily Black or a Lily White average level goalie, and occasionally they'll throw in a tough goalie like Yukari. But in story mode, it's pretty much nothing but average goalies, which means a lot of your characters that are supposed to be decent, low-level scorers can't be used. Like Wriggle, you can't use at all. Eventually, once you start having to deal with the Lily Black's like split image save, or you can't really make use of characters like Alice's Doll Shot because it's just not that good. Also, due to leveling, even if you did like the sub scenarios to learn certain special moves, you might not get access to them until later. Also, to mention, since you don't get to choose what players you get, you don't get to choose what goal you get. In the entire game of story mode, you are stuck with China as your goalie, who's slightly better than a generic, but not by much. She does get a special save at level 10, but that's way later, and it's unlocked through a scripted event. And even once you get it, it's practically useless, because by that time you're dealing with characters that are just blowing through China's defenses. She's and in travel mode, she's only good if you get her real early, and because she's a cheap goalie, but there's just better goalies out there. Sub scenarios, as I just mentioned briefly, is I can show it to you. As you can see, there are, in this case, 11 sub scenarios. This Lily scenario only unlocks once you complete these other 10. Technically, I've only completed I believe I've completed 5 of these by myself. I'm using a completed save. That's why I have everything unlocked. Yeah, I've completed 5 of these. No, wait, I've completed 6. Never mind. I've done all but China, Marissa, Mima, Reimu, and Alice. I've attempted Reimu, and Reimu's is very annoying because it involves it's kind of the same situation as one of the story mode matches. You're very limited on your options. Though you get to see Genji, which is interesting. He's kind of odd looking when he dribbles. Anyway, once you beat all these, you unlock Lilies. As you can see, there's difficulty levels. A lot of these are scripted. Some of these require multiple matches. Some of these are one match. Like Cerno's is just one match, while like Sakuya's and the Scarlet Sisters is several matches. But a lot of these are usually done just so you can unlock certain moves. Like Aya, you unlock her air shots. Sakuya, you unlock a combination shot that involves Eren. You unlock a combination shot here. There's also other hidden ones that you can unlock. Like I believe one of them is for the for one of the generic goalies that you can never get. Like if you go in one-on-one this generic goalie, you unlock his special move. And the last thing there's also All-Star mode, which I don't really understand what it is. I think it's just you have random teams play against each other. I don't know if you control them yourself or not. You also organize teams, which is just organized into teams for All-Star mode. There's replay mode, but replays don't work, at least not in this version. Then there's options, which blah. You can background music, voices. I don't think voices work. There's replays, and then there's auto-saving. Alright. Travel mode. This is what I've been playing on, and just to show it off, you can carry over previous save data. As far as I can tell, I don't understand what this does, and it doesn't seem to work. So I usually just pick no. As you can see, you have a list of characters. From speaking with the Cole777, who helped me kind of get this Let's Play started, and he's currently doing the Let's Play of the story mode. He apparently doesn't have access to as many characters as I do. So some of these, for the captain, you can pick anyone you want. There's 3 characters. I believe there's 2 characters you cannot pick for a captain. You also can't pick goalies, so you're stuck with nothing but outfielders for your choices. As far as I can tell, he can't pick. Apparently can't pick Shinki, which means he probably can't pick any of like the PC98 characters. So probably all the way up to like Hakari Miko and Suika. Well, Suika's not PC98, but you get the idea. So I guess some of these characters are unlocked, either probably through beating travel mode or something like that. Anyway, you can pick anyone as the team captain, and based on who you pick as the team captain, it affects who else you can pick for your first and second player. Like if I picked Reimu, you notice that my list just changed, and I lost access to pretty much all of the main players like Marissa and Sakia, Rumia, all the high-end players. So if you pick a high-end player, you will lose access to pretty much all the other ones. And for some cases, you can't even pick some of the low-end characters. Like usually, the advice I gave in one of my previous videos is you always pick Tiwi as one of your characters, just so you can get the bonus goal. But if I gold, sorry. But if I picked Yukari, my options are extremely limited, and I can't even pick Tiwi if I picked Yukari as my team captain. Now, don't get me wrong, I've beaten the game without Tiwi. Like my team I won with, my start was I think it was Moko, and I think I even picked Keen. I don't even remember. As you can see their stats. This is all their stats based off of level 1. Now the thing about the captain is your first and second player will always start at level 1, but your captain will not start at level 1. In most cases, since most people pick probably the best character they can get, or the most expensive one, they'll start at level 2. But through some testing, the vet starts at level 3 when you pick her as a captain. And just for fun, since Cole77 loved to try to score with Rumia and wanted to actually make her a good scorer, I actually picked her as my captain for one of my saves. Rumia starts at level 7, which is actually pretty impressive, and actually kind of made her decent for a good portion. She's actually still one of my main scorers, at least for now, though she's getting worse every game. So so there is some things to consider in that aspect. Like, you can't assume that if you pick a bad character, you're going to be stuck with a bad character. So some of your options are kind of limited. Like, if you wanted to do, like, you wanted to get Yukari's, like, combination shot, you won't be able to do it simply because you can get Chen, but you can't get Ran, and you have to have all 3 to do her combination shot. But that's pretty much what travel mode is. This is all travel mode is. You pick your team. We'll just go Rainbow. Actually, let's make team strongest. Cerno, Diosi, and Letty. Confirm, and then here you get to pick your team name. As you can see, you can pick hiragana, katakana, English, symbols. There we go. Done. And then you also pick an abbreviation. Like when you see in my matches that it doesn't say Team Vivette, it'll say just Viv. That's just going off the abbreviations I picked. So then you just pick, done. And then there you go, you get your little story. Oh, that's her name. Her name's Mari. I can't believe I forgot that. She's actually a good character in some of the other games. It mentions the use of doppelgangers, which is how you'll see multiple characters on the field at the same time. Like in my one of my previous matches, I did Vivette versus Vivette. Actually, I think that was the first video I did. So that's how it's possible. Now, even though there's doppelgangers, you can't get multiples of the same character on your team unless they're like an outfielder and a goalie. Those are considered different players, but you can't have like two Ramos. And there you go. You got Team 9 versus Team First Match. I will say that the whoa, that's kind of interesting. Also, who you pick as a captain affects who you get as your generics. Generics actually have different stats based off their type they are. In this case, these are Evil Eyes. The base stats for all generics are the same. They'll have 1s in primary stats, 15s in high and low balls, 15 treble, 30 cost, and 5 recovery. Their stats, on the other hand, will be base 6, but some of them may specialize. Kadamas are average in all of them, so they're always stuck with 6s. So technically Kadamas and I believe one other character has averages all around, so they're technically the worst. Evil Eyes, on the other hand, have pluses to trap, clear, fake, and challenge, which means they're good at dealing with with air balls in like a defensive way. I have in the with my Vivette team, I have maids who are skilled in tackle, so they'll usually get an extra point or 2 in tackle. So in this case, if I was using my Vivette team as my start, I would have 6s in everything except for tackle, which would be 7. Mackay girls are specialized in intercept, which means they'll have 6s in everything, and you get the idea. So who you pick as your team captain affects who you have as your generic mooks. Now, since I picked Cerno as my captain, she starts at level 8, which is actually pretty decent. Also, since I've beaten the game, you can see that I do start out with Steps of Spring, which, you know, blah blah blah, give her an item. It's usually really good to give to your main forward. In this case, it'll probably be Cerno, because I don't have any other scoring power. My other 2 characters, though, start at level 1, as low as all the other characters. And you'll start out with a generic goalkeeper. You do start out with some gold, and there is a shop. For the first match, it's always nothing but items in the shop. You cannot buy characters in the before the first match. Now, after this match, there may be characters, and there may not be. So usually, I do not buy any items at all for the first match. Other than that, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You can save, blah blah blah. It's all the same stuff. So you can quit game. So it's pretty much all this. That's pretty much the gist of it. I just kind of wanted to explain travel mode just for people that don't understand, and also if people want me to do a specific team, I wanted to at least let you guys know that hey, I might not be able to do certain teams just simply because the travel mode won't let me start with them. Now that won't stop me from buying the characters later if that's what you want me to do. I'm pretty open-ended for ideas right now. I might do a video on Labyrinth of Touhou next, just to give like a tutorial to show kind of the gist of how some of the RPGs are, since RPGs are kind of hard to find lately. I kind of consider this game kind of an RPG due to the options and leveling up and items and all that, especially with travel mode. Travel mode, it's very flexible, and every game is different. There is also one thing I forgot to explain about travel mode. There's actually 2 kind of story paths with it, which all it does is affect what matches you have. Every 5 matches or so, you'll fight Vivette, and Vivette will have a special requirement, like as I showed in my first video and in the briefing. If Vivette scored 2 or more goals against me, I would have been put in the loser league, which would have been an entirely different stream of matches. It doesn't really affect anything in the long term. It just means you just have different matches. I haven't done all of the loser leagues. I've only done a couple, because there are just some cases where I just don't have a goalie and I just cannot stop them from scoring on me, or whatever the requirement is. Funny enough, it's possible that you can win by points and still go to the loser league because, you didn't fulfill the requirement. But at the same time, you can actually lose by points in some cases and meet the requirement and still win, which is kind of weird. I've had that happen once, I believe. I guess that's just about it. In the bottom left corner, you'll notice that there's Lily White. If you have that icon, that means you've completed everything, which means you get the shoes. I believe that's what it means. Alright, I just wanted to kind of do an explanation of everything. I guess I'll see you guys later. See ya.